So apparently I'm a coward because I posted a picture of Jay Dyer, who is an Orthodox Christian, um, mocking Jesus Christ uh, by taking a picture of he and some apparently pagan, Wiccan, occult wannabe. I don't know. I don't give a shit, right? Not an Ortho Christian. Um, Mocking Jesus Christ with the, satanic upside down cross. And, you know, I asked the question, knowing damn well that this would get back to Jay Dyer. I mean, he's been confronted about this before, and I know what his answer is. It was a joke, right? Um, this was a revelation to me, and I know some people that listen to what I have to say are familiar with Jay Dyer and like him. Some probably don't. Some draw inspiration from him, some trust him, some don't. Right? They know who he is, and but I guess I'm a coward because I posted this wondering what the hell is going on here, knowing damn well that, but the simple fact that I didn't address him, confront him directly, right? Even though knowing damn well that it would get back to him, that he was confronted about this and brushed it off as nothing, right? And if it was just that, it'd be just that. But in the pinned comment to this video, I will include a video critique of Jay Dyer and some of his views and some of the things he's been questioned about, and the person who compiled all of that and asked these questions, to my knowledge, first asked Jay Dyer to debate, and Jay Dyer, who says people are constantly ducking him, refused to debate that person. I don't know why, but if there's anyone qualified who would have, who would be able to challenge Jay Dyer, it would be that person, right? In that video, go ahead and watch it. There's a lot of questionable stuff coming from someone who's Christian Orthodox insofar as his conduct goes, and just things that make you wonder, like, if this is Christianity, then why the fuck would I want to be part of that, right? Right? Is that how we convert people? Really? By joking around? I mean, a lot of very pious, devout, and just regular, secular, dumb, secular Christians like myself, um, that strikes a chord, right? That's not okay. So anyway, I guess I'm a coward. But in that video, yeah, it hurts me very deeply to hear that I'm a coward when, I mean, do you hear me on here spelling things out to skirt the censors so that the AdSense keeps rolling in, right? Is that something that I do? I know damn well that making these videos, when the time comes to crack down on the dissidents, I'm fully aware of what may happen. Let me take a breath. Let me take another one. So anyway, Jay Dyer, as you'll see in that video, who often talks about how contradictions invalidate worldviews, right, is contradicting himself when presenting the Christian Orthodox worldview, right? So those would be, look, maybe some of that stuff was taken out of the context, but some of what's in there, I fail to see how it could be taken out of context. It just seems like, blatant contradictions, at least in a couple of cases. I'm no religious scholar. I don't know what the answers are to some of these questions, some of these dilemmas, but it would be interesting, and I know there's a ton of other people interested, if Jay Dyer and the person whose video I would link, or someone from that circle, if they talked about this, right? then there's also, Jay's conduct, which is, it's funny. In some ways, it's endearing, unless you're on the other end. Well, some of it not at all, but sometimes if you're on the other end of receiving this, it's just weird, right? It doesn't really add up. So do I need to at Jay Dyer in this video, which he won't watch, right? I know what Jay Dyer thinks of people like myself. I know what he thinks of people like me. He's made it plenty clear on his channel. It is what it is. I haven't read as many books. I can reading, no? So, it would be interesting to hear what someone like Jay Dyer, who seems to know a lot about the West and the Freemasonry in the West, it would be interesting to hear what he has to say about Freemasonry in Russia, right? If these guys, to a large degree, are pulling strings in the West, how come not in Russia? Or are they? Like, what's going on? Does he not know about Freemasonry? Because anytime I mention Freemasonry in Russia, it's a conspiracy theory, right? Someone always has a problem. Why? Why do we have? I thought we didn't like the Masons, right? The Western Masons have their manifest destiny. Putin and Dugin have their own manifest destiny, right? I thought that was fucked up. I don't know. I'm just a simple man, right? Jay Dyer will tell you, I'm dumb. I don't know shit. He's never said that to me, obviously. I've never had the pleasure of talking to him, but do I really want to be on the receiving end of that, right? You could understand why certain people don't want to debate him. Like IP, right? Inspiring Philosophy, I think his name is. Not a fan at all of that guy, by the way, but you could kind of understand where he's coming from. Anyway, so this is, maybe it's just a language barrier. Maybe not enough of these works have been translated into English, or the only language that Jay Dyer speaks, understands, right? But there's like websites and stuff and books written in various languages. Maybe not too many in English, like this one over here, right? Masoni Vrasi, if I'm reading that correctly, right? It has that 8-pointed star that the Queen of England wore. The same star that the beloved. Like, it is what it is, right? Did Russian czars, a whole bunch of them, czarinas, did they not display this star prominently? Did they not? Dugin is using a more satanic or Crowleyan, if you will, adaptation of the same, basically, symbol, right? You have what could be considered, the Russian eagle, or some of these motifs just, I get it. They just get, recycled and repeated, but to completely ignore the obvious connections here, with Dugin being the son of a GRU, which people who study French Masonry, or the French Rite Masons in Russia, right, say is dominated by these people, the GRU, right, the special forces, or special, military organization in Russia, right? Dugin's father was a general in the GRU, right? And there you have Jay Dyer having, I only saw a snippet on YouTube because the whole thing isn't available on YouTube, having a, pretty friendly conversation with Dugin, seeming to agree, definitely respecting the guy, right? Like, sometimes you get, Christians, other Christians like Catholics or whatever, and just in general, Jay Dyer is very dismissive and disrespectful, right? We've all seen this. This is like, I'm not saying anything anyone doesn't know or understand, right? So he's disrespectful of fellow Christians, but there he is, seemingly buddy buddy with a Satanist, right? Freemason Satanist, Dugin. And look, don't tell me he isn't. Like, can I prove it? No, other people have, right? You could go read their books. You might need a translator, but it is what it is, right? Don't just dismiss it offhand. Simply because some of the books haven't been translated into a language that you understand. Anyway, so it's disturbing, right? People see this and people wonder, and yeah, people perhaps unjustly spin off all these, conspiracy theories that may or may not be true, right? But that's because there's that absence of engagement from Jay Dyer, who, at least, not, I don't know about his activities on other websites, but on YouTube, to my knowledge, hasn't. You would think that this huge, very important geopolitical event that's happening right now would be covered by someone who is knowledgeable about all this stuff, and a Russian Orthodox would give us the Russian Orthodox perspective at the very least of what's going on. And hopefully, you would think, denounce Putin as a murderer, right? I mean, what is that too much to ask, right? These are things I'm sure people are wondering, or at the very least explain to us how it's okay to murder people. Like, explain this to me. How is it not okay to abort a one-day-old zygote, right? That's evil. But murdering Babushka and her kids and dispossessing or displacing rather their her grandchildren, right, by the million. How's that okay, right? Like, what, right? Like, a lot of us dumb people, really, really dumb people, don't understand these things, and we have questions, right? So, like, what's going on, right? What is going on here? And this whole idea that, like, there's no Freemasons in Russia. Now, obviously, Wikipedia will give you a nice little flowery and pretty portrayal and whatever. We know how they do things, right? But, it's all in there. You'll find, once again, the German connection, right? And then the French connection. Huh, wasn't that a movie? And how the Russian Masonry eventually split away from the French Rite and became its own thing, right? So it's like, how come someone who is, why is it that the Orthodox Church, right? That's pretty interesting. They talk about Freemasonry a lot, and I'm not steeped in the teachings to know exactly what's going on, but anything that I've ever heard from any representative of the Russian Orthodox faith had to do with those bad Western Masons, right? But they never talk about. Maybe they do somewhere, but it seems like, wouldn't they know more about their homegrown Freemasonry, or what has become Russian Masonry eventually? Wouldn't they know more about that? And now maybe it's not okay. They're afraid to speak out about this stuff because of all the repressions in Russia, because Putin is the bringer of freedom to the West. Like, these narratives don't make any fucking sense, right? Why not move to Russia, right? The West is so decadent and Russia is so great. Why not learn Russian and move to Russia? I think that's a valid question. No? So, again, and in closing, there is a very damning video out there that's been going around for a couple of years at least. And there are many more. Something like 8 years ago, I heard someone who I very much respect, who was very instrumental in opening up my eyes, posit that Jay Dyer is, a Russian agent. And he had very good reasons for that, right? Long time ago. I mostly dismissed that. I tried to ask the question, but it just got immediately shut down. Like, you're not supposed to ask these questions. It's ridiculous, right? It's weird how you try to, ask a little bit and it just gets shut down immediately. And then you post something that's just so blatant and wrong, and we all know it is. You could call it a joke, right? But explain to me why that's not a sin. You could call it a joke. Haha, funny. Okay. How is mocking Jesus Christ funny from the Orthodox perspective? How? But, you try to do the right thing, what you think is the right thing, and you get immediately shut down and ridiculed, right? So it's being communicated to you that you don't ask these questions directly, I guess, or to the people who may know something about this. And then, you still do it, just kind of, meekly, I guess, cowardly, knowing damn well it's gonna get around, right? It's been around, and it hasn't been addressed. So it's just, I would like to ask you guys, if you're gonna comment on this video, to, be respectful, right? Please. But I mean, at the same time, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Can you imagine? Like, let's just reverse this, right? Can you imagine if some political leader in the West, right, was accepted by and himself promoted the Roman Catholic Church, right? Had recorded an album about drinking baby's blood and released it in the midst of his own political career, right? A very important, powerful, at least to a degree, politician who's, I mean, this is like this is something straight out of one of Jay Dyer's videos, right? The son of a CIA agent, right? Steeped in the occult, using all this symbology, having his own little manifest destiny. Let's take over the world. Nazi Bolshevik ideology, right? Or the evolution thereof, right? We have to join commies and Nazis together to fight libertarianism, because, when we were divided, we were also fighting against one another. And instead, we need to essentially, this is how I understand Dugin's book, right? And I needed help to be able to do this, because I'm just a dumb farmer in Ecuador, right? Oh, I'm trying to fight hubris. It is what it is. This Alexander Dugin story is like a wet dream to dig into it, right, and analyze it and talk about it. It should be a wet dream for someone like Jay Dyer, right? Everything is there. It's all there, right? But to ask this question openly, knowing that it's gonna get around to Jay Dyer, and knowing damn well that he's just gonna dismiss it as a joke, as if that photo wasn't connected to a whole bunch of baggage, which you will find in the pinned comment to this video, right? Like, but I guess it's cowardly to ask these questions without at Jay Dyer, right? Who knows that my channel exists, right? I'm not saying he watches my... Why would he, right? But, here it is. The thing that I knew was going to happen. And how did I know it was going to happen? Because I was going to do it. Because I'm a coward. Anyway, I had this like really, really clever ending planned, but fuck, you know, I guess I forgot. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. You guys let me know. And, Jay, I guess I'm gonna add Jay Dyer, I guess, as if you didn't already field or ignore these questions, right? I guess. Um, why not confront the person that made that video, very seemingly damning video about you, right? And why not cover the whole Russia situation and tell us about the Freemasons there and what their role is in this conflict? Because we all see it. You taught us how to see it, and we're just, like the dumb disciples that we are, we're just bringing it back to you and being like, well, yeah, the West bad for them, sure, but what about these guys over here? Thanks for watching.